What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. We are here for the season finale of Twenties, Season 2, Episode 10. Listen, we opened up this episode. We have Hattie dressed in white, Mary and Adina. They're at a chapel. You know, she got her girls and her bridesmaids, and both of them look really nice. I like those white suits they had on, honey. And so, you know, just as the preacher is asking them, do you Hattie, Adina, do you take Hattie? Adina was like, yes. Hattie, do you take Adina? And Hattie hesitated a little bit, and Adina was giving her that look like, say what? All of a sudden, Poison starts playing, and who comes walking in the chapel in a red dress? Y'all know who, Ida. And Ida was like, so Hattie, what's up? What you doing? You getting married? Because, you know, I love you. And, you know, Hattie was like, you do? Adina was like, excuse me? And Hattie was like, oh my gosh, like, you love me? She was like, yeah, so are we getting married or what? And she was like, well, I mean, am I? And, you know, the pastor was like, is somebody getting married here today? And both of them, all three of them said yes. And Adina was like, Hattie, what's going on here? And Hattie, you know, was like, well, I mean, who wants to get married? And the pastor was like, you don't get that's not how this works. And Adina was like, yeah, nobody gets to choose. And Ida was like, yeah, even if this were a dream, that's not how that works. Like, I didn't say I wanted to marry you. I just asked, you know, would you marry me? And Hattie was like, see, there you go. Manipulating me again. And I was like, well, it's not my fault. You like being manipulated. And baby Adina said, let me tell you what I'm not about to do. I'm not about to play this game with either one of y'all. And she sashayed her ass right on out that chapel and gave them a deuces on her way out the door. So I said, okay, Hattie. And of course, Hattie wakes up in a cold sweat. And Adina's like, girl, what is wrong with you? And she was like, I don't know, I just had a bad dream. And she was like, well, what was it about? And she made up something that, of course, Dina knew her ass was lying about. Now, then we see Marie. You know, now it looked like Marie was packing up the house, but packing up her stuff. But then she asked Hattie, because Hattie was helping her, she asked Hattie to move back in, you know, to the house. So I don't know. So Hattie is moving back into the house, child. Now let me say something. The chick that hooked Hattie up with the manager has been flirting with her. And she is still flirting with her through these text messages, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then her old co-worker from when she was working down to the show, they got to flirting a little something. I said, Hattie, you are playing with fire. You got way too many hoes. Okay, way too many. But Hattie lets Marie know that her father's in town and that, you know, she's going to go down to his show. And Marie was like, are you serious? Like, you know, how do you feel about it? And Hattie was like, I'm good. You know, I'm all right. I'm good. But as soon as Hattie leaves, Marie ends up calling Mia and letting her know, listen, you know her dad's in town. He invited her to the comedy show. I feel like we all need to go to support her. So I feel like this whole daddy thing runs deeper than what we're seeing. You know, it's deep. It's running deep, right? So Mia over at her house, her sister's still there, child. But she gets a knock at her door. And who was at her door? Ida. And Ida is there with a sincere apology saying, listen, you know, I apologize, I was wrong. But I have this project that, you know, I've been sitting on for a long time and I'm finally ready to make it happen. And I want you to be the star of it. And, you know, Mia was like, don't do me no favors. Like, you know, you did me wrong. You know, you treated me wrong. Don't come down here with, you know, this peace offering. Be sincere in it. And so, you know, Ida was like, I do apologize. You know, I'm sorry. She said, but I wasn't taking out what was going on with Hattie with you. And she was like, girl, don't play with me. Like, we all know that's what it was. Just apologize and let's move on. She said, but I didn't fire you out of spite. Well, not 100% out of spite, but you really had outgrown that character. And I see better for you. Like, I have faith in you that you are a great actress. So she agreed to do the role with Hattie. So, with Ida. So that's a good thing. We're going to see that happening. Now, Hattie is letting old girl know that she is moving out of the apartment. And, of course, she is so, you know, extra and codependent. She had a whole goodbye party for Hattie. And she ended up inviting them to come. Well, they sort of invited themselves to come down to her father's comedy show, right? And that's when we, see her. We first see her flirt with her coworker, the old coworker from the job. And I was like, where'd she come from? Because at first I had to remember who she was. I was like, where'd she come from? Because, I mean, it's bad enough that Hattie still got Ida on her line. Then she got the chick that hooked her up with the manager. And now she got this whole third person out of nowhere. And I was like, come on now, this is a lot. So then we see Marie down at work with Amani, Shumpert, and, they still flirting. Okay, they are still flirting. She said, listen, you misled me because you said that we were going to do X, Y, and Z with this project, and you done did A, B, C. And he was like, I ain't never lied to you. And she was like, but you misled me a little bit. So he was like, listen, all right, it is what it is. Sorry to hear about your engagement breaking up. She was like, are you though? He was like, yeah, I mean, that's what I had, said. But they still flirting a little bit. But remember, he just had a baby. So, Marie, he might want to leave that alone, baby. I don't know about that. So, we're down at the comedy club. And, of course, everybody is in attendance. And Ms. Boo thing, was it Tristan? He shows up. And she was like, oh, my goodness, how did you know I was here? He was like, because you posted it on social media. It was like, pull up. And so she was like, oh, well, I'm glad you pulled up. I'm glad you're here. And he was like, I really missed you. And she was like, oh, okay, that's cute. And he said, well, he ends up kissing her. And she kisses him back. And her sister peeps it like, okay. And he was like, thank you for giving me another chance. And she was like, oh, you ain't got another chance yet. Like, you got a lot more work to do. But we in the ballpark. We walking down the street. Okay, we're in the ballpark. And Hattie's father goes up and he gives his set. Now, last week, I kind of played the man short, but it seems like he, was like a little comedian, a little something, doing a little something. And he did his set, and he really basically used that opportunity as a way to apologize to Hattie, and probably the best way he knows how. I mean, he made jokes out of real stuff. He talked about the fact of him not being a good daddy and how he had a whole lot of hoes he was juggling, and he came out to LA looking for his, to fulfill his dreams. But he ended up basically getting eaten up by the Hollywood life. And he was saying how his daughter's out here doing the same thing, how proud of him he is, how proud of her he is. He talked about the fact that she's LGBTQIA and the fact that he's proud of her, living loud and proud. He was saying, I hope she didn't inherit my genes, having all these women out here, which... And I'm sure it was awkward because, of course, the whole crowd knew that he was talking about her, so it was kind of like, But he ended by saying how proud of her he was, and he was like, I know this is supposed to be funny, but, I'm using this opportunity to say all the things that I can't say, because I don't want to get all emotional and shit. And so you saw that he, definitely was trying to give her a message and let her know that, he loved her, he was proud of her, and he knows that he was a bad father. So after the set was over, she did meet up with him and introduced him to Adina, and it was awkward, and I think he was waiting for her to do or say something that she didn't do or say. Like, I mean, she ain't give him a hug. She ain't, thank you, that was so sweet of you. She ain't, I heard you, I appreciate what you tried to say. Like, she gave him nothing. Even to the point at the end when he was like, so, am I going to see you around, Hattie? And she was like, bye, Dad. And I was like, damn, you can't even, wow. But again, I feel like there's a lot more there that we're not getting because Marie was like, we really need to be there for her. And even after it was over, Marie was like, Hattie, are you good? And she was like, yeah, I'm good. Which, of course, she wasn't. She sent Adina home because she said she just had an early day and she had some stuff to take care of. But I think she really just needed to be alone or wanted to be alone, I guess. Mia got a ride home with Tristan. Her sister was like, you go ahead and get a ride home with him. I can catch me an Uber, because, she's still matchmaking child. Marie was realizing that this is what the single life feel like, honey. She was like, dang, so much for a girls' night, everybody doing their own thing. And Hattie was like, welcome to married, but welcome to the single life, honey. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. So we see Hattie talking to old girl from work. And again, it's like this sexual tension that they have between the two of them. It's like this little yin-yin thing. And Hattie ends up, you know, they're waiting for their cars to come around. Baby, you know Hattie Hooper, Hootie. I couldn't get it, Lord have mercy. Hattie's Hootie ended up going out on her, and old girl was like, well, you want me to give you a ride home? Because she said something. No, they had a really good conversation while they were waiting for their cars, where she asked Hattie if she was okay, and Hattie was like, nah, not really. And she was like, I get it. She was like, a lot of times, she said, I'm not okay a lot, and I tell people I am, because, you know, it's just awkward, and people really don't want to hear the truth, you know. And Hattie was like, yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Because remember, when she told Marie she was fine. And so they kind of joked around a little bit. And again, it was that sexual tension. And so she was like, do you need a ride home? And Hattie was like, yeah, I do. So she jumped in her car and she was like, you smoke? And Hattie was like, do you know me? And she was like, well, I got some good stuff back at the house if you want to make a pit stop. And baby, that's how it ended. So listen, we need a season 3. And I need to see where all this goes. Okay? Okay. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Drop it in the comments. Peace.